Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the rival StarCraft 2 League. My name is Joe Laguitas. With me here is Trigonal, and we are so happy to be bringing you the grand finals of one of the final tournaments here in Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, I'm pretty psyched about this. This is actually my debut casting for the RSL, and it's such a privilege to be here for the finals between Namshar and Strange. They've had a long road to make it through. Some pretty strong players to get here, and finally, yeah, they're going to be facing off tonight to decide the champion.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at this matchup and say, Namshar probably the favored player, right? I mean, he's the guy that's made it into WCS Challenger. He's got a few more results behind his name, so to speak. But I do think that Strange could be a guy, because of his playstyle, because of the fact he's not as well known, might be able to kind of surprise us here.
Yeah, I think he's definitely. I think he's the underdog, but I think he's one who has a solid chance of taking it. I mean, we think just back to the semi-finals, he took down Jon Snow, another very, very strong player who I don't think made it into Premier, but did make it into Challenger last season, if I remember correctly. And yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good result.
Yeah, and it's not just he's made it into Challenger last season, he's made it into Challenger pretty much constantly since 2013. And Strange took him out with some really cheesy play. I think the first game he actually went for a 4-gate. Like not like a 2-base 4-gate, just like a 4-gate.
Just a regular old 4-gate.
Just a regular old 2011 Huck 4-gate.
I mean, you would have thought that's something Jon Snow would have a little more experience with playing on the North America ladder.
Yeah, I mean, and he did get shut down with that, but he went on to if at first you don't sick cheese, cheese again. And I think he closed Jon Snow out actually with a cannon rush. A really, really, really good cannon rush that looked like Jon Snow had stopped it. And then like at the last minute, he did some nice glitch walking and managed to get one cannon up and then two and three. So it'll be cool to see what he busts out. It is another PvZ, so that was kind of like a sneak peek into this next match.
Do you think there's a chance that A, Namshar was watching that match, and B, he's kind of a bit more prepared for, let's say, verging on aggressive Protoss style?
So, okay. I think Namshar probably wasn't watching it. It's very late in Europe. I know the day before he woke up to see it. But I know this is probably the biggest event he's in right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if he went back and caught the VODs, broke it down, really analyzed what's coming on. And maybe he does take a more defensive stance because of that. Because I do think he's kind of the superior player. And his mindset, especially if he has studied, might be, I need to get to that mid-game. Once I've got 3 bases and lots of drones, I'm comfortable.
Yeah, true. Well, of course, Namshar and Strange have played before a couple of times. Most recently, just a couple of days ago, actually, just 9 days ago, in the RSL group stages in Group B. So that time, Namshar was able to take the 2-1 victory. It's a bit of a longer series, and yeah, we'll see whether we have the kind of that result where players always in the rematch, the loser always manages to eke out a win. That's certainly what Strange is looking for.
So I've been explaining there's kind of like a reason why that happens in the group stages. So you lose, right? You get knocked down. Mm-hmm. If you meet the person you played against initially, like statistically speaking, and this is like 70% of the time, you'll beat them in the final round, which is like crazy, right? But I guess it's because if you get knocked down and you're able to kind of claw your way back, you're in a mentally better place than the person that won and then got knocked down.
It was so close, yeah.
Yeah, then they got knocked down to that deciders match.
Yeah. I guess your opponent may have also revealed a few more of their stronger strategies. Like, I know some really, really good players, like Polt, for example, and Jadong, always kind of seem to win when it matters. And will quite often get knocked down in the first round of a group stage, fight their way through, and only pull out their strongest builds right at the end when it's up against the wall. So they'll try and conserve strategies as much as possible and see if they can just win based on superior mechanics and decisions in the game. So part of it is possibly down to that as well.
Yeah, and it's funny you talk about Polk because he's a guy that lost to TLO in the group stages of WCS, And then TLO hits him in the bracket, and everyone's like, "Oh man, can TLO do it again?" And it's like, "Nope, nope, not in
Not even
single
close.
elimination. TLO cannot do it again."
Yeah.
Man. So I hope we see Cheese. I have this weird like love hate with Cheese. I'm a Zerg player. We're kind of more vulnerable to cheeses than other races. Would you say? Not necessarily more
Maybe. I
vulnerable,
would have said like every race would say that.
but I feel like there's a
But
lot more
I
cheeses you can
think
throw at Zerg.
I think it's a lot more possible to be caught completely off guard by cheeses
Yeah.
because the general Zerg kind of mantra is just everything is drones until you make
Yep.
all your army. That's the ideal way to play your game as Zerg is get up to like 80 or so drones or 3 or 4 bases and just throw wave after wave of army. So if you're caught with like 4 lings out and a pylon gets up and you don't see it and like 4 or 5 zealots walk into your third base, it can be just game over. So I think it's like certainly more possible to be caught out. More vulnerable maybe because of the play style.
But yeah, so I was saying I have this love
Anyway,
hate
yeah.
with cheese because like on one hand, I know the pain of getting cheesed out by someone, especially someone you're like mechanically stronger than. You're the better, more solid player overall, and you get cheesed out by them. But then on the other hand, I love it because man, oh man, is cheese fun to watch, especially like weird, funky cheese. Like Haas is one of my favorite players right now,
Yeah,
and Strange is
as
not
a
as funky
hitman.
as Haas. But I'd put Strange more towards like a hitman. Like he's not Haas level of yeah. I'm just gonna build 8 pylons in your base, but he's very aggressive and he's very good at executing his aggression, which I think is important.
Yeah, that can be interesting. I saw Hitman play a while back actually. I cast him in Fight Night a couple of weeks ago, and his execution is next to flawless when he needs it to be. Just perfect force fields at the last second to draw his opponent into committing to a fight as much as possible, and then just half a second before his sentries start dying, force a whole ring of force fields on a flat plane around them, and the Zerglings have to run off, taking fire from the sentries the whole time. So if Strange can channel a bit of that, I think we'll be in for quite a serious time.
Man, imagine if he like played the game seriously, Hitman. Like how good he could be if like he wasn't just kind of like laddering for fun after class.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is him like casual. Like imagine if he like went into the hyperbolic time chamber and like trained with Vegeta.
Yeah.
He could be so good, man.
There's a word for the hyperbolic time chamber in StarCraft. It's Korea. He went and lived in like the Spanu house or something,
Oh
and
man.
had some serious practice with SOS. Oh my god, what have I done?
That's like when Yogi Flash Wolves announced they were partnering with StarTale and then later Spenu. I was so excited for Haas and SOS to get to hang out, and I don't think it ever happened. But like, could you imagine having to play an Archon mode against Haas and SOS?
That's terrifying.
Like,
See, actually, that's the thing. I don't know whether it's scarier to play like 2 incredibly strong cheesy micro players, or whether it's scarier to pair like Haas or SOS with Rain or something like that, who's the macro Protoss. So I don't know. I don't know whether which one is kind of the scarier pairing, one who shores up the other's weaknesses, or just 2 who are completely off the walls, both microing like 2 warp prisms of zealots at every base.
well, for the Heroes of the Storm, the road to BlizzCon, it's kind of like their WCS system, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
In Taiwan, when they kicked it off, they had an Archon show match before the Heroes of the Storm,
Oh, cool.
and it was Parting and Haas versus Leenock and Sen, and oh my god, the Parting Haas Archon was like untouchable because like Parting is that weird mix of like solid cheese,
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. He's the more conventional cheesy Protoss.
Yeah, but he's like a there's no holes. He's not a Swiss cheese. He's more of a he's more of like an English cheddar.
Yeah, or I was reading a whole Wikipedia article on cheese rolling. Double Gloucester. He's a double Gloucester. It can
Okay.
survive a full roll down a hill at 70 kilometers per hour with an entire village of British idiots chasing after it.
Oh, I've read about that, and that's the same town where they have ferreting as a sport, right?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of time to come up with a lot of weird sports and export them all around the world, and we've
Well,
kept
this one
the
has not
really
been
weird ones for
exported.
ourselves, and then cricket and soccer and rugby and such we've exported elsewhere, and people have just done much better at it, so we've kind of given up.
Yeah, from what I understand, there is a sport in a few select rural towns in England where you stuff your pants with straw and then just drop a ferret in there, and whoever gives up last wins. And it doesn't sound like a sport so much as a contest of who hates themselves more.
I'm not going to play that. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, just I'll stick with StarCraft.
Yeah, no, StarCraft definitely a game that is more of a test of skill than putting a ferret in your jeans.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you say that, but put you up against Britain's top ferreter, and I think I know who'd win.
Oh man.
But
So
yeah, either way. We're just waiting for Namshar to get online. Apparently, he's got a little patching trouble, but we'll be getting this underway hopefully as soon as possible.
yeah, so I had a pretty boring day. We're starting to draw on life experience guys now to fill the time. If you want to be a super professional caster like Trig and I, you've got to learn to kind of take your real life stories and transform them into entertainment. So today I'm at the grocery store, right? Just doing my adult thing, adulting around, buying some groceries, and I'm like, hey, I don't recognize this fruit. I'm gonna buy it because why not? Like I'm
Sure.
trying to
You
try new
only YOLO
things.
once.
Sorry.
You only YOLO once.
Exactly. So I get all my stuff, and then I get to the line, and I'm checking out, and like how they scan barcodes for most of the stuff, but with like fresh produce, there's no barcode. They like
Yeah,
select it
just
on like a touch
put a
screen.
number. Yeah.
So she picks up this thing, and it's like a weird looking fruit. It's like a oval shape, and it's got a bunch of like dots on it that kind of look like furry little moles or something.
Huh.
Um,
Was it just a moldy fruit?
no, it's not moldy. It was actually like it had spines, and apparently they've been pulled out, and it was like the roots of the spines.
Oh, right. Okay.
But she's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "I don't know. Isn't that your job?" And she's like, "So you just got a fruit and you don't know what it is?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I figured I'd try it." And she's just looking at me like I'm a crazy person. And I'm like, well, "Can you just put it in as apples?" And she's like, "This ain't an apple." And we're just going forward. And I kind of had to stand there and like try to figure out what it was, look it up on Google. It turned out to be a prickly pear.
Ah.
So hopefully that was worth the trouble of looking up that fruit with a confused cashier.
Yeah, and looking a bit weird in front of a cashier. I actually had a similar sort of thing, though much less interesting. Today I was out at the pub with my girlfriend earlier having a Sunday roast, and I work at a pub chain called Wetherspoons, and
Okay.
I've been working there for about 2 years, so I know like my way around the till and stuff. And I was at a different location to the one I worked at, and I wanted to try one of our new menu items we just brought out, the scones for two. I was having them all for myself, but I wanted to get scones for two because there's a deal on them. And the person behind the till, they'd just started, they didn't know how to put it through, and I was like, oh well, I work at Spoons. Just actually, hang on, there isn't a button for scones for two. I don't know what to do, and it ended up taking two of the new staff, two of the managers, and me to figure out like how to put through the scones for two deal. Fun story. Sorry. Either way, apparently Namshar is here. We're just organizing him into the right place and such. It's been having some graphics issues, and
Him and Stranger sitting down at the table, guys, and we're just trying to get the scones for two for both of them.
exactly. Can't find the button. The trick is you've got to put them through as the scones for two from the kitchen.
Oh, okay. You can't order it at the bar?
Yeah. Well, no, you can order it at the bar, but of the 4 different buttons that order scones, only one of them is on the scones for two deal, despite them all being exactly the same.
Okay, so the 4 different buttons to order scones is the most British sentence I've ever heard. I think in America we have like a 2 scone limit per eatery, and if you have more than that, you actually get taxed as a foreign entity.
Probably. They take all your scones and throw them into Boston Harbor. And,
Okay, so we know a joke's landed when you hear production laughing in your ear. Like, that means you've done something right, guys. Jake, Hawkeye, of course, is the guy behind the rival StarCraft League. He's the reason that we get to deliver awesomeness into your ears right now. And none of this would be possible without him. So everyone, a little Little clap for Hawkeye. Got a golf clap because I don't want to wreck your earbuds.
Bravo.
Cheerio.
Yeah, cheerio, top, poodle tit. I'm just making up words now.
That's the crazy thing with British English. I feel like you could just say anything, and as long as you have an English accent, you're like, rock on. That sounds perfect.
I did try that when I was in Canada. I've been to Canada a couple of times relatively recently for tournaments. I went for Hyatt and I went for WCS. And at one time, I think it was the after party for Hyatt. No, it was the after party on Saturday for WCS actually. And I just decided to go around saying pretty much nonsense words and preceding them with, as we say in England, as we say in England, can't shake a ferret out your hood without a stick of butter, eh? And then seeing how many people would just go, yeah. And how many people called me out on it. It's quite a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any like American things I've said that have confused people. Oh man, I had one that like really boggled Tenchi's mind, and I can't remember what it is now. Oh man, I guess I'll have to come back to it if I remember. Namshar guy is just having some graphic settings. He should be sorted really quickly, and until then, you get to continue listening to the wonderful Joe Trig podcast. Look for us on iTunes. We're going to be hopefully featured on the front page soon. With jokes like these, why wouldn't we be, honestly?
There's literally no reason whatsoever. we've got the looks, we've got the sound, we've got the consistent, planned out storyline through the podcast. It's all scripted.
Oh yeah, guys, this is like writing like this does not come off improv.
Oh, no.
We had probably 3 writing meetings a week leading up to this event.
Yeah, with our team of comedians and script writers. 2 of them had to take a day off, which is why there was a break right there between those 2 sentences. But I don't know, what are they doing?
The script actually recorded the time that people were absent. There's just like someone sat there hitting enter because they were sad and alone.
Pretty much. But by the way, I see Namchar in this group, so.
Yeah, I do see him as well. I don't know if that's a glitch or what. I'm sure that they will not start without us because obviously that would defeat the point of hosting a tournament.
I mean, we could speculate. We could cast it from speculation.
All right, I think Strange is going to proxy 2-gate with a proxy robo.
No, that's what you think. What you say is like, Strange is definitely putting down a proxy 2-gate with a proxy robo right now, and the Zealots, they'll be running into Namshar's main any minute now. And then when you call GG, you just have to kind of awkwardly wait until the actual game finishes.
All right. I know that Strange is definitely putting a Stargate down in his opponent's natural, blocking him from taking that hatchery.
I mean, that's impressive because I haven't started the game yet. I don't know
how
you know this. This is your...
Strange really having his timings on lockdown.
Oh, yeah. And that's pretty even like Legacy of the Void Stargate timing. Before the game starts, that's going to be like StarCraft 3. That's when you put down... Actually, that would be kind of cool. If you could choose like a tech building before the game and you started with it. I don't reckon it would be like balanced or anything. It'd just be kind of interesting. It'd be a bit like choosing a mutation or something in the campaign.
That sounds like kind of hellish. I just feel like it'd be like, oh, the game started. Here's an oracle.
You just choose Dark Shrine every time.
I used to. So do you remember when you first started playing StarCraft 1 or 2?
Yeah.
Like, did you go through that phase that I think a lot of people go through, where Dark Templars are cheating?
Not really. I was a really, really cheesy player when I first started. So you remember the practice league? You had to play like 10 or 15 games or something with rocks.
Yeah.
I 10-pulled every single game. Just 10 drones, no more drones, kept making lings, broke through the rocks. Nobody expected it. Won like almost all my games. I went through like a cycle when I was first learning StarCraft of going, right, so 6-pool's really cheesy, but a 10-pool beats a 6-pool, and a 10-pool is really good against like 15 hatch and stuff and all the other openers. So therefore 10-pool's the best build. Why would anybody not 10-pool? And just then I went, oh, hang on. I can go 14 gas, 14 pool.
That's what I did.
That beats a 10 pool, and it's good against hatch first. So therefore, that's the best build. And then I just kept on kind of going down that route until I eventually just went, I'm just going to 15 hatch every game and hold with drones. Why is this idiot trying to bring lings into my base?
I do think if you're like kind of below diamond, 14-14 is the best build. Because you can macro out behind it, you know? Like, it's not so all in as a 10 pool or whatever.
Well, also you can change how you play it based on your scouting, especially if you send out a drone scout or something, and they've gone for like hatch gas pool or something really, really greedy. You just go ling all in.
Yep.
Or if they've gone for cheese, then you know to get spine started, keep your lings at home, that sort of stuff. And if they've gone for kind of middle of the road build, you just build like 4, maybe 6 ling, kind of harass with them. You'll have a really early speed timing, so you can try and get a bit of damage done, run in, pick off a couple of drones with that, get an almost guaranteed scout, and then just kind of keep your macro up behind it. And a pool first versus a hatch first really isn't that much difference in economy in Zerg versus Zerg because of how much faster you get the queen. And the queen gives you more lava production and therefore faster droning, as does the extra hatch. It really doesn't matter that much whether you go pool or hatch first.
No, but we are going to go map first. It looks like we're getting into our first game right here. That almost made sense. We're going to roll with it. Just waiting for the invites here are Trig and me.
Yep. First map is going to be Coda. So, yeah, of course, RSL.
Wait, where are you seeing that?
In the Skype conversation. And yeah, it's going to be nice and refreshing to be back on the this season's map pool rather than all the craziness and weirdness that's been happening with Moonlight Madness and that's malarkey. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty cool map. Then Moonlight Madness looks like it's been taken out. I'm trying to figure out what the last map is. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's one missing on there. We've got Coda, Terraform, Iron Fortress, Cactus Valley, Bridgehead, Dash and Terminal. And then, is that Moonlight Madness? That would be last map? Yeah, okay, that would be Moonlight Madness last map.
Cool. All right, Namshar still having some technical difficulties, guys.
Yeah, I think he's just got to download the maps. I guess, yeah, he's on a fresh install or something.
Yeah, so, I mean, maybe he briefly decided to quit his StarCraft 2 career, formatted his computer, and was then like, what the hell am I doing? This is the greatest game ever made. And I had to go ahead and reinstall it. That's going to be my theory.
Yeah, I mean, that's half of a reasonable theory. It starts off a bit iffy where somebody quits StarCraft 2, but then it comes back really strong where they're realizing it's the best game ever made. But either way, this is the first time I've been on HOTS in a while. I was talking about this before the show started, and I'm loving Battle.net 3.0. It's so shiny and loud, but shiny. It
is absolutely beautiful, and a bird just flew into my window, which was surprising.
Hey, birds are just throwing themselves at you, Joe.
That was like the craziest thing I've seen in a long time. I don't know if you guys could hear that at all, but it literally just hit my window and dropped like a rock. But avian matters aside, guys, we are getting into this first map, which is going to be Coda. The countdown has started. This is the rival StarCraft League Grand Finals, and it's going to be a terrific PvZ.
Yes, it is. Loading Coda. We don't have intro videos loading screens, do we?
No, but the loading bars are going. The ponies are off. Ahead in the front of the line is Namshar. He's about halfway in this loading screen. My bar is about 3/4. Strange falling slightly behind. Perhaps he is on a laptop. These guys are jockeying so hard for position, and it looks like we're getting ready to go into the map.
Oh, yes, indeed. I just didn't want to, like, it seemed like a really good setup to go into a video, and I didn't want to be like, yeah, so... talking of the video, but yeah, looks like we're just waiting on somebody to load up. I'm loaded up. Namshar's loaded up. Stranger loaded up.
I'm loaded up.
Namshar's, oh, well, there we go. Holding everyone up. But yeah, Namshar's new computer seems to be serving him really well, getting him into this game super quick. And speaking of super quick, it's our Superfly Zerg down the bottom right-hand corner. Our blue Zerg from Carnage Esports in the finals. It is Namshar.
And in our top left-hand corner, the purple Protoss player. He is not the one pausing the game. It is Strange. So yeah, like you said, Namshar very clearly playing on a new computer, which is good because last time we were casting Namshar, we got the chance to talk to him a little bit, and he said, "My computer's really bad." And we don't want players playing with computers that are really bad. We want them playing up to their potential. Yeah, no. No, I'm not gonna say things like that on air just because that would be a lie. And lying can be fun, but
lying is bad.
Yeah.
Or so I've been told. That's a lie. Nobody's told me that.
This is gonna be
so amoral.
This is gonna be a best of 7, guys. So we're really gonna get to see the range of what both of these players have to bring to the table. Strange is a guy that in this tournament hasn't shown a lot of range. His range has kind of been pretty aggressive to very aggressive. At the same time, Namshar has shown he can do a lot. We've seen some 14-14s out of him, some light cheeses, some heavy cheeses, and a lot of really solid macro play.
Yeah, I was going to say, Namshar can certainly be aggressive himself as well, but it'll be kind of how they match up with each other. If Strange goes slightly aggressive and Namshar goes very aggressive, then if anything, that'll probably work out even worse for Strange. He'll be really working out to try and hit a timing, and it looks like Strange is going to be starting things off Forge here, most likely, unless he's going with a little bit of a greedy gateway down the low ground. So, could be saying a cannon rush here.
Yeah, and Strange did show off some really nice cannon rushes last game. So if we do see that Forge go down, I'll be really excited, because I like watching a guy that kind of elevates cannon rushing to an art, but it doesn't look like he's going to be going to move out anytime just yet.
Not just yet. Coda's not generally the best map for cannon rushes. There are a couple spots you can wall off, but generally you're looking for like somewhere you can wall off with 3 pylons and get a cannon in behind a mineral line. And Coda's just got too much space behind the mineral line to be able to do that usually. But on 13 supply, this is a good time for a really aggressive Forge. And there it goes down. He's going to send out 1 probe with it to go and have a look at what Namshar's doing and see if he can at least delay the natural for a little while.
Okay, so Friday, Namshar did do a really nice cannon rush on Coda. He set up a really nice kind of triangle of pylons that, but Namshar is going to see this with the Overlord, so he might have an inkling of what's going on now. But Strange last time, Jon Snow knew it was happening and he couldn't stop it because Strange did such a good job of using the pylons to reduce the surface area on the cannons and then glitch walking out of the little bunker he built for himself by building an assimilator and then moving through it. It was really nice to see. So yeah, it's that same triangle. Oh man, so Namshar, let's see if he's had this cannon rush before, because I think if you don't know exactly how to respond, it can be really difficult.
I like his response already. A drone moving out on the map gives him the possibility of proxying a hatch up somewhere and putting on some aggression on Strange. Strange seeing the drone out on the map with his own probe puts a little bit of a sock in that for Namshar, but we'll see what he can get done anyway. He's actually managed to get a few drones inside that bunker, so he's going to be working away on the photon cannons, but does run the risk of them being trapped inside those pylons. So the one in the little kind of bunker space is not going to get finished up, but now there's a bunch of drones kind of just off the line. Namshar's only mining with 2 drones right now.
Yes, Strange is not slowing down either. He knows that he's caused Namshar to commit so much, but at the same time, Strange has committed so many minerals into this, letting 3 pylons finish, 2 more cannons on the way, does cancel them, and Strange is kind of forced to abandon this position and go home and work with this very awkward setup that both players find themselves in.
Yeah, Namshar does have that probe there. It looks like he's considering a proxy hatch. And there it goes down, so...
Strange drops more cannons. That is his response. Yeah, he has 3 cannons on the way, and Namshar is not paying attention. He has no idea if these cannons, 5 cannons coming down from Strange in the natural,